Morning, friends. Jeff Allen off the gridiron. We have a lot of mess and a lot of things to cover on this table. Certainly in take two, we'll see if it goes better than take one. Books, blades, and builds. Here we go. Obviously, with all the mess on the table, I am revisiting some of my classic hobbies, making twig furniture and rustic furniture. Some great resources for getting out and making use of some natural materials in the wood. Making Twig Furniture and Household Things, Abby Ruolf. And two by Daniel Mack, Rustic Furniture Workshop and Making Rustic Furniture. You can see that these have been flagged in a number of spots because I've been practicing and I have some of these very items making various twig furniture. What a great way. Look at this project right here. So at a local thrift shop, pick up one of these 1990, 2000 gold tables with a solid glass top on it and then remake the new bottom. Unbelievable. I think that would be a great project for you. Let's have a look back over here. Wow. Some very custom little bookcases. What a great, so many great ideas, and many of these I've tried and had varying success because it's not easy. How about that? Nice little rustic bed. Can you imagine sleeping in the woods on something like that? Super cool. Anyways, some of the things that you need to be successful at that is some way to make to have that auger, the drill bit, and then also something to make like that mortise and tenon. So on the table I have a number of them. Anything from a DIY, 1 inch, I have removed the variable slider on here, so 1 inch, and then 1 inch cold rolled steel, sharpened, welded on there. What a great tool. And then you can also put in the T-handle, but what a great DIY project, different than the ones you'd be buying online. Another option, again, doing something like this. This had a bit of a D-ring on the top, so you would actually put your T-handle in there, rotate it up, it bites into the wood, and then you can use it like so. So creating these options in the field were really important. So books, onto the blades. What am I using to start and process this? Well, early on, this was another DIY. So in the field, I really like to be able to brush off the trees and get some of those smaller limbs off, so I have the material to construct these. This was a kind of a homemade kukri. I'll provide a link up top. I've had it for years and it's been sharpened quite a few times. The concept I had, this was made out of a big old sawmill saw blade, is I wanted a point to be able to bore kind of holes into my material. I wanted to have a smaller area up here where I could sharpen wood. I needed a lanyard hole coming from the top of the blade, so that would wrap around my wrist, and then it would give me a really good lockup on the handle itself. Kind of a Coke bottle grip. And instead of a lanyard hole that I started with, I put a brass cap in the end, and that is a great option for a secondary bearing block in the field. So that's forward heavy. What a great little chopper build. And then again, further practicing some DIY leathercraft. And again, I love my danglers. So that was a great project to use in the field to harvest some of the materials to make some of the furniture. You can see how all this is coming together. Sometimes when we're working on blades and designing things, all we need, and I know as a kid, this was an old bandsaw blade, steel chop saw blade, ground, sharpened on the one end, and hockey tape. I mean, if that's all you had, that's as effective as a tool as some people around the world might have today. But you can see where a little bit of practice and training can create a little bit more of a functional chopper and so on. Practicing is important. So if you went to a thrift store and bought an old blade, this actually was a stainless Victorinox blade. I think it might have been a big long bread cutter. I cut it down, reshaped it, put a little hardwood handle on there with a little liner, and again, I think pins from the garage. But look, I made a sheath rather than leather. That's all out of plywood, and with a little welt in there, and it mounts great. And what a great little kind of practice knife, a knife that you're not too worried about if you ever lost it in the field. I was quite on my journeys, I'm often finding various blades without handles, and this was an old Ruku made in Sweden, very similar to the Mora. Super small blade, great for whittling, needed a big bulky handle on there, so that was an old, maybe a broom handle of sorts, or a piece of hardwood. Without a sheath, it's obviously pretty dangerous, and the leather is pretty small. Maybe a Puko style would have been good, but I replicated. I had an old wand for a vacuum cleaner, and with a little bit of heat, it created a great little neck knife. So I'd wear that around my neck, tucked into my shirt, certainly in the winter time or off seasons when I'm layered up, and I would be able to pull that out really good, really comfortable in the hand, and then just drop it in there hands free and know that it's safe every time I hear that sound. So that was a really fun little build. Not only the handle, but the sheath. I'll provide a card up top. Here's another classic Frost Mora laminated steel. I think I found this one at a campsite. It's pretty pitted, even though it's you know, laminated steel. It's obviously seen some rust. It had the kind of twin tine on here, almost like a protective bolster. I cut the one off the back because I'm not a big fan, but for any kids using it or training, I left the front one on so their hand doesn't slide up the blade. Made a new handle and made it extra long with a little piece of deer tine or antler on there, which really helps fill out the length. And I guess you could probably do a little bit of napping and pressure flaking with that if you felt the need. But a couple of different blade options, and kind of bringing back to life and practicing on blades that may not see much in terms of use, but it's always good to practice. Mortise and tenon joint and building things in the field. So this is where a bit of a DIY comes in. The idea of kind of carving the hole and augering the hole into your furniture and making something, that's great. Lashing, that's great. Sometimes we want to get to the final product and we may not have time for the process. To speed it up, and certainly to dive into some of these other larger projects requiring very kind of, maybe that's not a large project, a little table, but something that you want to really build rather than work on the fabrication. The tenon cutters from Veritas have been pretty awesome for that. So how they work is you would put it in any drill, and these are all tenons of various sizes. So this small one makes a small, if I can get it apart now, it's a very tight fit, small kind of tenon and kind of a chamfered edge on there, and then the hole itself can be made with a step bit or some other auger or spade bit, or really a drill bit if that's all you had. A little bit of glue or pine pitch on there, and that would press in to a hole and tamp that in there, and that would be a great little fit. You can kind of see maybe this could be a shelf or a leg of a chair, so that would be kind of a fun build. Additionally, they have much larger ones. Obviously, if you're making that table or that bed, you would need something a little larger. Let's see if I can make this work. And if you take that end, just cut off with the saw. We're going to try to make a mess here. Okay, obviously super clean, super fun, and then that would press into maybe another joint, another hole that you made. But how about that for kind of quick and dirty and perfection? Put some glue on there, nail from the back side, you're done. All right, that was a fun little demonstration. Okay, so with books, we looked at some Twig furniture books, rustic furniture options. So much fun in the field. Take some string, take some cordage, take some maybe an auger bit and a drill bit in the field, and try your hand at making some rustic furniture. It doesn't have to be sophisticated, just has to be fun. Looked at build, we looked at some blades, various options, from little DIY and practicing some of your knife craft, making do with something that's going to get you by, and then some deeper projects where you actually invest some time and energy making all the different designs and combining leathercraft with your metalwork. Super cool. And obviously DIY, the ability to take tools to make other tools, weld a couple together, use your ingenuity, have fun. Jeff Allen off the Gridiron, thanks for watching. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, and share. Smash that bell notification, and we'll see you next time. Enjoy your outdoors. Bye for now.